Hi, and welcome to the Rags to Riches show with myself, Terry Blackburn. Now, today's topic is something that not a lot of people say. If you follow a lot of property people and business people on Instagram, it is generally dominated, certainly from what I can see, by people talking about property. People think that property is the answer to creating wealth. People think that property is the best investment vehicle that you can come across. People think that property will get you financially free. Property is the magic thing that you all need to do in order to get ahead in life and get financially free, have a great life, have loads of money, and build your wealth, right? Now, property is one way. Now, you all know, I'm heavily involved in property. I've got a lot of units. I've been doing it a long time. And I do love property, right? I do. I'm not going to say that I don't love it. It is a passion of mine. But I'm self-aware enough to realize that property is not the only way to create wealth. I'm not, telling my mentees that property is the only way to build your income and build your wealth and create an amazing life for yourself. Because business is what I've been involved in longer than property. I've said on numerous podcasts, I class myself as a businessman more than a property man, because business enabled me to have a huge income, which I then invested into property. So if you had to pick one, obviously you don't, right? But this podcast is about why I believe business is a better return on investment and a return on time and a better way to earn money than property. And business enabled me to buy property. If you look at the richest people in the world, dominated by business owners, people who've set up a business, sold it, set up a business that's hugely profitable. It is a better return on investment and it is a better return on time. And I don't think people can argue with that either. Like all you've got to do is look at history and look at stats and look at examples. The evidence is there. The evidence is clear to see. And if you look at the wealthiest companies in the world, done a little bit of research just prior to this podcast. So the top 5 are Costco, according to Google, this is Costco, BP, Microsoft, Glencore, and Samsung, all profit of over 200 billion. None of those are property businesses, right? Technology, oil, like these are businesses that make that level of profit. I don't know any property businesses that make that level of profit. If you look at the richest people in the world, Elon Musk, Bezos, Zuckerberg, all them, it's all businesses, right? They haven't made their money from property. Property makes a lot of millionaires, but business makes billionaires. And I think that is the difference. Now, obviously, a lot of people listening to this, you're probably not going to become a billionaire. I might not become a billionaire. And I'm not necessarily aiming for that, and you're probably not either. But business is, in my opinion, a quicker way to make money, a quicker way to make more money. And also, if you've got a lump of cash sitting around, there's a strong argument to go into business instead of property. It depends on loads of factors, of course, your skill set, how much time you've got, your attitude to risk, how much money you've actually got. It depends on loads of different factors, right? But if you had to pick one, which you don't, if you had to pick one, it's business all day long. And what I believe people should do, and what I'm teaching people to do in my mentoring, is you should have either a really high paying job or a job where you can earn commission, it's uncapped, you can make a lot of money, or a business where you can make a lot of money, or a high paying job and a side business. And then what you should do is get that income as high as you possibly can, work your arse off to get loads and loads of money coming in every month, right? And then you invest, keep your bills low while still having a good quality of life. Still go to the Bahamas, don't go to Butlins. Like, you know what I mean? You don't need to live skint. Still have a good quality of life, but don't recklessly spend. And then the surplus, you invest into property. So you've got your business or your job producing high cash flow, low expenditure, and then you're filtering that surplus into property as a hedge, as a safety net, that those properties then produce more income. That is what I believe is the best way to create wealth. It's not buy some HMOs or buy some buy-to-lets and expect to be financially free after you've got 10 of them, because it doesn't work like that. let's say if you've got 10 buy-to-lets, right, and they're generating, let's say, 3 grand a month net. Some people think, I can quit my job now, 3 grand a month net, happy days, right? If you quit your job when you're making 3 grand a month off property, a boiler breaks that month, you make no money. How are you going to pay your mortgage? How are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to live? It's not enough. 3 grand a month is not enough to be financially free and to quit your job. It's bullshit. It's what people tell you on courses to sell you the dream, sell you the fact you're going to be financially free and you can quit the job that you hate. It's bollocks, right? Even when you get to 5 and 6 grand a month, 2 of the boilers break. 1 boiler breaks and you've got a load of voids and some little bits of maintenance. You make no money. Right? Like it's not true what they're trying to tell you and push on you. You can't quit your job when you get a 3 or 5 grand a month. You just can't, right? Which is why I personally believe business, you build a business. By the way, there's loads of different types of businesses that you can do that don't cost very much money to set up. So one straight away, right? Everybody's different in terms of the skill set. But whatever your skill set is, you could be a consultant or consult people on that specialist niche. If you're an engineer, you can consult other engineers on how to do a certain type of engineering, consult people on how to do property, on how to run businesses, on how to do sales, how to do graphic design, how to be an estate agent. I don't know, any skill set that you've got, right? A lot of the time you can convert that into being a consultant, a mentor, or a coach. You've obviously got to be credible. Now, I'm not saying everyone should be a coach because they definitely shouldn't, because it's quite difficult and you've got to be credible and you've got to know how to actually coach people and actually mentor people to get results. But you get my point. You can be a consultant. Things that don't cost very much money to set up is things like you could be a virtual assistant for someone. You could be an assistant for someone doing someone else's tasks on the side of your current job. You could build content and create content like I do. You could create courses like I do. You could do social media marketing, have a social media agency. You could buy some products and sell them for a profit. Start off small and work your way up. Like there's literally endless amounts of business. Just Google 20 business ideas that don't cost any money. Pick one that works for you, run with it. Like there is no excuses for why you're doing this. If you're in a low-paying job and it's a low-paying job, no aspirations, you can't grow, it takes you 10 years to get promoted and you get a 5 grand pay rise and you can't save enough money on that salary anyway to even buy any property, there is no excuse. You need to be setting something up on the side to generate more income. Because property is not going to be doing daft rent-to-rent deals is not your answer, right? It might be a short-term way to get a little bit of money in, right? But I truly believe business, everyone can set up a business of some sort. Some better than others, some more profitable than others, of course. But I do believe everyone should be looking at something like this. And if you can get into business, you can think about it this way, right? If you've got, let's say, 50 grand, right? Currently, you've got 50 grand sitting in your account, you're thinking to yourself, right, what should I do? Should I be buying property? Should I maybe set up a business? If you invest 50 grand, right, into a buy-to-let, right? With current interest rates, you might make 250 quid, 350 quid if you're lucky, net profit from a 50 grand investment, right? You might be able to get a HMO for a 50 grand investment, even better. You might make a grand a month, right? Which is a lot better than buy-to-lets. Maybe it's an Airbnb, something similar, okay? So what's that going to take you? 4 and a bit years to make your money back? Without any maintenance, without any voids, without any issues, without rates going any further, without anything crazy happening, right? So at least 4 or 5 years, right? Now, I'm not saying you should do this because everyone's different, but if you put 40, 50 grand into a business, do you think you could generate more than 350 quid a month cash flow from it? You know what you're doing and you're educated and you're getting guided properly and you actually, you know what you're doing and you've got a reasonable skill set, then all day long you'll make more than 350 quid. All day long you'll make more than a grand a month. 50 grand putting into a business, you will, right? If you bought 50 grand's worth of stock and you were trying to sell it at a 50% markup, right? You're making your money back plus 25 grand, it's a 50% markup. And how long is it going to take you to sell 50 grand's worth of stock? If the product that you're buying is £1,000 and you're selling them for 1,500, it's only 50 sales. You'll do that in less than 5 years, right? You get my point. Business is a better ROI than property. Business is a better return on time than property. Now, I'm not saying don't do property because I love property and I will always do property. I will 100% always do property, but I'll always do business. Never had to choose one, it's business all day long. But I will always, and I believe this is the best way. Forget about the nonsense they tell you online. Forget about the financially free in X amount of days. Forget about financially free in a year even, right? It doesn't have, it's bollocks. The best way and the quickest way, in my opinion, is you educate yourself first. Business, get your expenditure low, business income high, personal expenditure low, surplus goes into property. And you do that because this business alone, if you get it right, can make you a very, very wealthy man or a very, very wealthy woman, right? Irrelevant if you even invest, right? But I think you should be doing both because then you're covering both angles. Because if property is hard, like it is currently, with interest rates, your businesses should still be going. And if business gets really hard, your property should be going. So you're covering yourself in both ways, right? What I don't think you should do is just do property and have a dead-end job, or just do property and quit your job when you get to £3,000 a month. And what I also don't think you should do is just do business and have loads of cash sitting in your business account and not investing it in property. You should be doing both, right? And I'm not saying this is easy, because it's definitely not. That's why I truly believe everybody should be educating themselves, getting the right guidance, doing your research, making proper decisions, not rushing anything, not listening to knobheads online who don't have a clue what they're talking about, who haven't been doing anything, they haven't really got a track record, they're not really credible, they've got a handful of property and they're trying to be a mentor. Right? Without blowing my own trumpet, I've been actually putting these videos online. I've been winning national awards for 7-figure businesses since 2015. That's 8 years, right? I've been buying properties for longer than that. Like there's a lot of these mentors have been doing it, a couple of years, 2-3 years, and they call themselves a mentor, right? Well, they've never even done business. They've got some property and they think they're a millionaire. Like, do both if you can. But I just want to put my opinion out there about which is better, because some people say business is better, some people say property is better. There's more people that say that properties are better. And a lot of people, I think, have this view of property is like the answer. It's one of the answers and it's one part of the puzzle. It's one piece of the jigsaw. There's other pieces that you've got to fit in. And if you're just trying to do property full time, like if you're doing property full time, but you're deal sourcing, right? That's a bit of a business. That's not property investing. If you're deal sourcing, you should be doing deal sourcing plus buying yourself, plus raising money. But the deal sourcing is a business, right? You should be ramping that up as high as you can, keeping your personal expenditure low and investing the surplus. But I just want to say my 2 pence on that, because I think it's a really important message. And I think not many people are saying what I've just said. And I think it's important for people to hear and understand from someone that's done both in volume for years and years, that business is where it's at. Like it really is. There's another thing to this. I've sold a couple of businesses for quite a lot of money, and you can generally sell a business for a multiple of profit. So depending upon the industry, it might be 4 times profit, it might be up to 10 times profit if it's tech. Like you can't sell a property for 10 times the profit that it makes or 10 times its value because it's got a strong brand or it's got a strong management team. You don't get any of that, right? You get the mad multipliers in business. And if you look at some of the tech startups, they've literally gone from in the first year making 7 figures and selling year 2 for tens of millions. You can never, ever do that with property. Never. It's impossible. You can't buy one property or a couple of properties and sell it for multiple millions within a year. Right? You can't do that. You can't win a contract that makes you hundreds of thousands of pounds after a couple of weeks in properties. You can get these type huge wins in business. And yes, they're hard. And yes, they don't come along often. And yes, they are quite rare. But smaller contracts aren't rare. You could set yourself up to be, I don't know, a consultant, let's say, and you're going to consult graphic designers on social media, right? And a big graphic design company could come to you and say, we want to work with you because we've seen what you're doing online. It's a 2-year contract worth 200 grand, right? Like you can't you're just exchanging, in that example, you're exchanging your time for money on a contract basis. You can't get that with property. And you don't have to really invest any money to get that type of contract. So I hope that's opened your mind a little bit, and I hope that it's made you think a little bit more about wealth creation, about it's not just about property. It's 1,000,001 ways to do this. And by the way, there is no right and wrong answer. And there's always exceptions to rules. But that's just my opinion. I truly believe that everyone can set up a business of different variables, and there's different scales, and there's obviously different industries and different niches you can go down. But look, think about your own skill set. What can you do? Try and monetize it. Get your income as high as possible if you're in a decent job, or get in a job where you can make more commission. Don't wait 10 years for your promotion when you get an extra 5 grand. Get yourself in a position where your income is high, either through business or a high-paying job, or both. Your personal expenditure low, and then reinvest that profit into property. And if you do both of those over a long enough period of time, like I have, then you start to create huge wealth. Then it's kind of indestructible, because you've got multiple businesses in multiple industries. You've got properties and different strategies using properties in different locations, regardless of interest rates, regardless of the economy, regardless of any of the nonsense that's going on out there. It doesn't matter too much. Yes, some years I'll make less profit than others, but I'll always be fine because I've spread and I've diversified. But it has took many years to get here. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully I've inspired you. Hopefully I've given you a little bit of thought, something to think about. So if you know someone who's solely focused on property and they think they'll benefit from this podcast, share it with them. You can share it on Apple Podcasts, and you can share it on Spotify. Ping it across them on WhatsApp or on email. Maybe it's your partner, maybe it's your business partner, maybe it's someone you're thinking about setting up a business with, or maybe it's one of your friends who you think could benefit from it. Please share it with them, and reach out, let us know what you think. And remember, don't just take notes, take action.